something that I really recommend you guys practicing as much as possible is the ABCs. And the reason for that is because, I'm going to explain this now before I start it because I can go off on tangents very easily and I'm going to try to stay on that. But ABCs actually really is heavily in ASL. What I mean by that is like, for example, in Spanish, if you are talking in Spanish and you forget the word for apple and you're like, how would you get through with that? ASL is, I kind of really like it, is that in ASL, you can finger spell the word apple and still get your point across. And so, because like I said, there are some words that just don't have signs. So the word is finger spell, which is when you're just basically spelling out the word. It happens a lot in ASL. So I always like to say, if you know your ABCs, you can have a very basic conversation already. You want to go into depth and have a big, long conversation and chat up, but at least you could get through if there was like an emergency or something like that. So with that being said, the first letter we're obviously going to do is the sign for A. So for A, you're going to have your forefingers bend down with your thumb on the side. Oh, and let me add this here too. If you are left-handed or right-handed, I'm a lefty. It really does not matter too much in the ABCs. So do not stress too much. If you are concerned about like how would you play stuff, let me know and I can clarify more. There are very few signs where I have to kind of shift to that right, but most of them, it does not matter. So we have A. B is going to be four fingers up with the thumb across. You guys are lucky. I got my nails painted recently, so you can see my thumb. There's been classes where I'm like, do you see the thumb? It's right there. So this should be easier. Then we have C, which we all really know this one, C. D is going to be your pointer finger, and you're going to kind of make like this circular motion. You typically have it facing forward, but I'm going to turn it sideways so you can see it. So D. I like to think about it, if you look at it, well, not necessarily, but it's like a D, like you actually have a D. I know it looks like a B, but when you have someone else looking at it, it looks like a D, like a lowercase d. So that's my like little helpful tidbit. Then we have E. E is going to have your four fingers. You're going to not have them touching your thumb, but like resting above it. Then we're going to do F. So F is going to be your pinky ring and middle finger up and your pointer finger and thumb together. It's like the okay sign. I was going to say it's another thing, but I was like, no, you don't know that yet. That we'll learn next week, but it's the okay sign. Okay, let's go back. So we had A, B, C, D. I'm telling you. So those two are the most common ones to flip is D and F. So if you do that, do not worry. Trust me, like it literally happens all the time.
Like my hand did it, my brain didn't, is what I'm saying. Okay.
It's very common. Like people all the time will do it. Even I did it when I first was learning it. Practice will get you to where a point where you finally are like, no, that's a D. So D, E, and then F. F. Good. Okay, awesome. All right, so our next one is going to be G. So G, it's almost like you're just doing the like little pinch sign and then turning it forwards. So G. H is going to be the same thing, but with two fingers. H. I is going to be your pinky. And then J is you're going to make the J shape. J. J. Yeah. See, there's some where you're like, oh, got that. That's not a problem. J. Fun fact with this one, when I was learning it, because like I said, I'm lefty, when I was learning ASL, I remember my teacher telling me lefties had to go inward while righties had to go outward. And I used to be very strict about that. Like, no, you have to make sure it's the right motion. And the reason for that is because that way the shape of the J, the position, to someone looking at it from the opposite side is in the correct placement. So I used to always tell people, no, 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 you have to do it this way. And then I finally was having a conversation with some of my coworkers who are deaf, and they're like, I mean, yeah, but like, it's not really like you can just still do a J or a J. It's fine. It's still a J. And I was like, oh, okay. So maybe I'm being a little too picky about this. So J. Okay. I'm gonna warn y'all. K is a very awkward one. So we're gonna go slow. Okay. So you're gonna start out with the number 2. You're gonna have your middle finger come forward and you're gonna stick your thumb between them. If it feels uncomfortable, you have it in the right position. The reason I say that is because your hands are not used to moving in this position before. Your fingers are not used to stretching like that. So it's not going to feel comfortable the first time you do it. And I know that sounds crazy. I promise you, like it hurts for a minute because you're like, wait a minute, what? Your fingers aren't used to it. But once they do, oh, it's going to be fine. So K. Then we have L, L. We'll do one more and we'll stop. And well, actually, no, we're going to stop here because M and N are very similar. So L. All right, let's go back to our G first. So we had G, H, I, J, K, and then L, L. Okay, let's do A through L and then we'll move on. Okay, so we had A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. Okay. How are you guys doing so far? Your hands, are they doing good? Most people will be like, oh, my hands are a little sore. Yeah, your fingers aren't used to that yet. Okay, so we're gonna go on to our M and our N's. Now, what's really nice about the M is when you do it, you're gonna have your 3 fingers come over your thumb. My little tip is I literally see the M in my fingers, if you can see that motion. That's how I usually help myself remember that it's an M. Is the 3 fingers, you have the bump, bump, okay? N is going to be 2 fingers over your thumb. Good. Okay. Then we all know O. O. And P is like K, okay? P is you're going to do the same position as K. So get back in that awkward position and then bring it down. P. So this is P. Yeah, I love when we have these really fun, like complicated ones, but I guess since it balances out with the O, I guess it's fair. So P. Then Q is going to be that kind of pinching motion again, but down. So Q. I'm going to add this here because I already started doing it. I'm very dramatic and I overemphasize when I sign because I'm trying to make sure you can see what I'm doing and moving my arm. You really don't stick your arm out and go Q. Okay, do not stick your whole entire shoulder out. You literally have it resting here, but I stick mine out because I'm making a big motion of showing you what we're doing. So you do not need to stick that whole arm out. It can come right back down here and be comfortable. I promise. It is not that big dramatics. I'm just a dramatic person. So Q, R is going to cross your fingers, R. And then S. S is going to be similar to A, but now your thumb is in front of your 4 fingers. S. Okay, where did we stop? L. Okay, so let's go back to our M. So we had M, Mm-hmm. N. Mm-hmm. O. Mm-hmm. P. Let me slow down. So K and go down. Q. Little pinch, go down. Mm-hmm. R. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then S. I also say, as I like to describe the best way, like how I do, like little pinch and down. If that does not help you, just ignore me. You're more than welcome to ignore. I do that because I'm like, I like to try to think of how to describe it. And I think it helps some, but if it does not benefit you, don't worry about it. Do not stress on that. So, okay, so we did S, T. T is going to be similar to our M and our N. It's going to be one finger over your thumb. T. Mm-hmm. Then we have U. U is going to be two fingers together. Mm-hmm. Then V. Mm-hmm. W. X, like a pirate, so make it like a little hook. That's how I call it. X. Y is going to be your pinky and your thumb out. And I think this one's also really helpful because you can clearly see the Y motion. And then Z. Z is you make a zigzag. Z. Okay, let's go back our T through our Z. Then we're going to go through all the alphabet together. And then after that, I will teach you how to say my name is. And then after that, we'll do some little testing practice of y'all's receptive skills on finger spelling. Okay, so we had T, T, mm-hmm, U, mm-hmm, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Z. Okay, let's now go A through Z. We'll do that twice. The first time is I'm going to say it and sign it at the same time. The second time, I'm going to try to just voice it and give you guys the opportunity to sign it first, and then I'll come in with the support afterwards and sign it if I need to. Okay? That way it's really practice, making y'all practice and have to remember which one's which. So we have A, B, C, D. I'm so sorry. I saw you went, wait a minute, that was not right. I'm telling you, it happens. Like Miss Katie said, your hand will do it, and you're like, no, that's not right. So it happens all the time. Do not worry. So we had D, E, F, mm-hmm, G, mm-hmm, H, I, mm-hmm, J, mm-hmm, K. I need that pinky to stay down. My pinky likes to start sticking up with the K's. And I'm like, stop it. L, M, mm-hmm, N, mm-hmm, O, mm-hmm, P, mm-hmm, Q, R. So remember, R is like crossing your fingers. Ow, gosh, pull a muscle there. R, S, mm-hmm, T, mm-hmm, U, V, W, X. So here's my helpful tidbit with this one, okay? I know if you're probably like, girl, I got this. So I always think of X marks the spot and like how pirates go hunting for treasure. In the beginning, I used to not understand why I would always say X marks the spot, and like this just made sense to me until Miss Katie finally realized, oh my gosh, Jillian, you're talking about a pirate, like a hook pirate. Of course, they're looking for treasure, and X marks the spot. And I was like, oh my gosh, finally made my connection that I couldn't even make. So always think about a little pirate here. And we had Y and then Z. Z. Okay. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to say the word. I'm going to have to put my hand down because it will naturally just go signing. And you guys are going to sign it first. And then if I see maybe a few are struggling, I will come in and support with the official sign of it. Okay. So A. Y'all were really fast with that A, and it was a little startling. You all did it at the same time. Just thought I should say that. B. C. D. E. F. G. Oh, wait, sorry. I looked down and went, oh, wait, someone's moving their fingers. F and then G, yeah. H. I. J. K. L. M. So 3 fingers over your thumb. We'll make sure you get all those 3 so it's a bump. 3 fingers. There you go. You had T, and I was like, I can tell it's very similar. So N. O. P. So it's like the K bending down. There you go. Q. R. So cross your fingers. There you go. S. T. So T is the 1 finger. This one, I like to think it looks like I know this doesn't, it looks more like an X, but I always think about a T shape. It's a very weird T shape. I don't know what that is. If it helps you, great. If it doesn't, also great. U. Put that hand down. Yeah. U. V. W. X. Y. So remember, it's your thumb and your pinky. There we go. And then Z. Good job, you guys. You should be proud. You at least now know your ABCs, and you can at least have some form of a conversation. So good job. Okay, let me explain real quick how signing sentences goes in ASL. Okay, and the reason I say that is because the way grammar structure from English to ASL translates is not every single word. Okay, meaning when we're saying my name is, it's not going to be you say every single word in that little sentence. So in ASL, things like our linking verbs, like is, are, I'm signing them. They're not really signs. I need to stop doing that. Is, are, were, am. So those are more embedded in the signs, and you don't necessarily have to sign the words themselves. So when you are saying what your, like my name is, really you're saying my name, okay? So we're going to start off with that. So the first sign we're gonna do is the sign for my, and the sign for mine is gonna be your hand on your chest in the center, my. Name is gonna be, you're gonna have two H's on both sides, and you're gonna tap on top of each other, name. It does not matter which side you do. I typically have my left hand on top, but that's because I'm, like I said, I'm left-handed. But you can do either way. Name. And then you're gonna finger spell your name. Okay. This is right here. This is the, like I think I said earlier, this is the actual sign for finger spell. But that just means that you are spelling out the letters in your name. So I'm gonna do this real quick and show you. I'm gonna try to go slow. I sign just as fast as I talk. So sometimes my finger spelling is really, really fast. It's because I just talk really fast. Okay. So if I were going to introduce myself, I would go, my name, Jillian. Okay. So I'd finger spell my whole first name. All right. Let's see. I was gonna say, I'll bring it up right now. I'll mention it now. What's really cool in ASL is that they have what's called a sign name. And the reason I'm mentioning this now is because if you did actually go and talk to someone, they probably would ask you sign name, if you had one. And what that is that is a sign that's designated to you as a person that is used instead of having to finger spell your name every time. Like if you're having a conversation, you're talking about, yeah, Jillian's on blah, blah, blah. You don't want to have to finger spell Jillian 30 billion times. So in the deaf community and deaf culture, they give you a sign name. And it's usually a simple little motion that represents that's who you are. What's really cool is you cannot give yourself a sign name. You have to get a sign name from a deaf person. There is no but, if, ands, or buts about it. You have to have a deaf person give you the sign name. And the reason for that is because they rely on your personality to match with your sign name. They don't typically just throw one at you. They have to kind of really get to know you as a person, get to learn about your personality, and then they kind of connect it there. And so I think it's really cool. And I'll never forget the day I got mine. I literally was so excited. I came home and I was like, Mom, and she was like, I had no idea what I was talking about. So my sign name is Jillian. It's a G on the cheek. And the reason I have this is because if you can't really tell now, but my cheeks get really red, especially when I'm talking to people. And so because I get red cheeks a lot, my G is on there. It's really cool. I really like it because it is me as a person. There are some people that have their sign names like near their heart, like a K here, and it's because they're so like soft-hearted and so sweet. I know a few who gotten them kind of like in the corner of their mouth because they smile a lot. They can be very sweet, or they can be about your little red cheeks that happen every time you talk to people. It's very like, I was like, oh, okay, but it's me. So I just like to always talk about those because I do think that's really cool. And that may be a question you guys were wondering is you would have to finger spell your name every time, and most of the time you don't. As long as you get a sign name, you don't have to. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over my name again. Then, if you guys are okay with it, I'm going to let you guys take a turn signing my name and then finger spelling your names out. Okay? So we're going to start with the my name real quick. So my name. And then you would finger spell your name. Now, I'm trying to look and see how long everyone's names are. We've had a few people who had really, really long names, and they looked at me like, girl, please do not make me do this. So I always say you can pick a short nickname if that makes you feel better. Because like, obviously I know you just learned the ABCs tonight. So I get it. I will also be paying attention and also helping with finger spelling if need be. That being said, the couple up there in the corner, you got AMS D. I'm not going to really know y'all's names, so you're going to have to help me out if you need me to help you. Oh, well, that was really easy. Someone knows his ABCs and knows his name already, which is good. So, but I love it. Like he literally was like, oh, I got this. Don't worry. I got my name. So perfect. Okay, so if you want that, that's fine. If you do not want to do it, I would suggest then you can shut your camera off just so, because I'm gonna go by the line of my list. So if you're really like, I don't feel comfortable with this, I don't want to do that, You can shut your camera off. That's totally fine. Hey, you already did it. You can't shut your camera off. You already went ahead, sir.
Yeah, everybody but that guy.
Yes. Yes, you're already exempt. You don't got to do it. You already did it. So, okay. Let's go ahead and get started. And the first person I have is Jade. I'm sorry. I know y'all are not, it's not the order of what I have or what y'all have. It's my order. And yeah, I'm sorry. If I throw you under the bus really fast, don't worry. I'm here. I got you. I'll support you. So, mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Good. Yes, you did it. This is clapping in ASL. You don't clap, you shake your hands like this. That's applause. So that's why I immediately went hands up. Just saying. I promise I'm not like a crazy person just shaking her hands like a crazy lady. No, this is just applause. Okay. Our next person is, I thought I saw, no, okay, good. Kirsten. I almost said Kristen, but I caught myself. Mm-hmm. Okay, someone either saw ABCs beforehand and knows already, or she picked up on that really fast because you did that way too smooth. Ah, okay. Then see, yeah. Perfect. No, you're good. I just looked and I was like, I can usually tell if someone's had a little bit of ASL experience or has been in a class before because they go really like smooth and I'm like, hold on. Awesome. Okay. The next person is Kelly, which I know Kelly, you're in the car, so it might be, yeah, perfect. Okay, someone else also knows her ABCs. All right, we're good here. And the next person I have is Natalie. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Awesome. I almost skipped the A in your name and I was like, why is she doing A? The next one is not A. Yes, it was. I saw you go Nat, and then my brain was like wanting to skip the next A. And I was like, no, she knows her name. What am I doing? So awesome. All right. Next person is Danielle. Okay, again, someone also knows. I saw that. I saw you slide. So I did forget to say this. When you are finger spelling, if you have two like double letters in your name, there are two ways you can do it. The first one is you can do a double tap, like at like Gillian. The other way is you can do the slide, which is Gillian. That's how I knew someone's seen that before because she slid her Danielle. So awesome, great job. The next one I have is Crystal. Mm-hmm. There you go. Awesome. Great job. Okay. The next one is Jordan. Awesome. I caught you. I got you. I know you're like, I got a baby. I'm trying to do this one hand. Okay. You were not supposed to get in my lap. Hop down. Sorry. She just jumped up. Was ready to be. Okay. The next one I have is Everett. Mm-hmm. 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 Awesome. Great job. I know you're sitting there going, oh, please, please, please. I got this. Don't worry. You got it. And then our last one is David's lovely buddy and their camera. So yours is Ames. Okay, awesome. I was trying to figure that out or not. I was like, I'm kind of curious, but I'll back off. I was nosy. Oh, gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. All right, awesome. Okay, so you guys all did awesome. Sorry, my dogs are getting very like all up in the chair right now, so I'm trying to be like, give me a minute. So But guys, you guys should be proud of yourselves. You now know how to introduce yourself to someone if you needed to talk with them. What we're gonna do now is I'm gonna give you guys a few just very simple sentences that may come across when you're talking with someone. So the first one I'm gonna do is what is your name? So if you were gonna ask a person what their name was. Again, before we do this, I know it's a lot of me talking, and it's because, like I said, grammar structures in ASL are very different than English. So I have to kind of explain what you do in the reasoning so it comes smoother later. So when you are asking a person a question in ASL, especially we're going to focus on the WH question words: who, what, when, where, why. When you're doing that, you're actually going to put the WH question word at the end of the sentence. Okay. So instead of saying, what is your name? Technically, ASL, you would say your name, what? Okay. And the reason for that is that way it clears up to the person you're talking to what you're asking in return. Because you could be having your name, what, is very short and simple. But if you're asking a very long, you're having a very long, you're explaining a lot and having very much of details, and then you're asking a question at the end, but you don't have that who, what, when, where, why, they're not going to know what kind of question you're asking anymore. So it is very important you put that question word at the end. Another thing with that is your eyebrows tell a lot about what you're asking as well. So when doing this, when you're asking a WH question word, your eyebrows, you want them to kind of go down. It may feel like you're frowning. You're not, I promise. You're not looking angrily at them when you have your eyebrows down like that. This is another factor of how telling someone that you have a question. And because it's down, they know it's an answer that's going to have to be something like names, or there's going to actually have to be an answer. It's not just a yes or no. Because yes or no questions, eyebrows go up. So it is a learning curve. Now, if you're very full of expression, you're a very expressive person like I am, it comes a lot easier than you think. If you are a little more just kind of like a natural, that's fine. You just may have to practice a little more thinking about how your eyebrows, where their placement is. So for your name, for what is your name, you would go your name, what? And I promise you're not looking angry at them. I feel like people think, oh, I just feel like I have such anger. Look, no, you don't. I promise. So, so it would be your name, what? I know. I feel like this one's always one where people this is this is very opposite right now. Finger spelling my name. Okay, great. It's the same letters, but your name, what, does really change you up. It changes everything. So, but yeah, so that's how you can ask someone their name. When you do the your hand motion, you do want to make sure you point it towards the person you're asking. So if you're in a kind of a group of people, you don't want to go let's say I'm talking to the person that's right here and I go your name. That's not asking them. That's actually asking whoever that is over there. Certain signs will be directional, and your is one of them. So, because if you're looking at this person and you go your name, that's not your, that's now their name. So it does kind of change up a little bit. We'll go in more detail on that later. Right now, I just was gonna kind of touch base on that and just let you know there. So, let's see. I was gonna say, oh, my next sentence is gonna be I am learning ASL. So the way you would do that is, again, you're not gonna do I am learning ASL. You're gonna do me learn ASL. Okay. So the first one's gonna be me. So me is you're gonna point to yourself, me. And then learn is gonna have your non-dominant palm up. Your dominant's going to be kind of up here on top of it like this, and you're going to bring it up to your forehead. Learn. My best recommendation on remembering this one is think about having a textbook and you're pulling the information out of the textbook and putting it in your brain. You are learning the information. Learn. So it'd be me, learn, And then you go ASL. Okay. I will give you the full word of American Sign Language sign. But most of the time, if you do ASL, they'll know what you're talking about. But I'll give it to you right here. Actually, let's do that sentence once more and then I'll give it to you. Okay. So I'm learning ASL. Me learn ASL. Okay. The official, like, longer version of ASL, American Sign Language, is you would do American. It's like your fingers are together. American sign. Pointer fingers go in a circular motion. And then language is going to be 2 L's. You're going to have your thumbs touch and bring them apart. And you kind of like bounce them. So language. So then together it's American Sign Language or language. But like I said, most of the time, ASL works just as great as having to do American Sign Language. Okay, so we have about 12 minutes. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to leave it open if you guys have any quick questions. And then if we have a little bit of time, we might practice me signing some words, like finger spelling, not signing. Sorry, me finger spelling some words, and then finishing up there. Oh, perfect. Thank you. I knew I was going to forget some signs. So please slow down and please repeat. Those are 2 very important ones, I think, to learn too. So the first one we're going to do is please slow down. So the sign for please is going to be similar to that my, but now in a circular motion. Please. And then slow down is going to be your non-dominant. It's going to be like kind of the back of your hand. You're going to bring your dominant across it. So please slow. Please slow. Okay. The next one is please repeat. That's also saying, like, again, the same, repeat and again are the same sign. So we'll have please. And then repeat is going to have your non-dominant palm standing up. Excuse me, had a hiccup. And then you're going to bend your hand and bring it towards your hand. Oop, not made sense. Did not make sense. Bring your dominant hand at a bent shape and bring it towards your non-dominant hand. So again. So please repeat. Please again. And do not feel bad for asking to be slow or please like to repeat. Most of the time, deaf people are very appreciative when they see that you are actually trying to learn and communicate. There will always be a few that may not. It's the same in any language. There may be a few people who like to see or appreciate that you learn Spanish, and then there's some who just don't care. So I always like to say that, though. I don't want you to come back going, Jillian, you told me everybody's gonna love me learning, and now they don't care. I'm like, I don't want that. I can't say everybody will. So, okay. Are there any signs you guys are curious of or any signs you need me to repeat? I just hit my hand on the table. We're good here though. Anything like that. You can add it in the chat or you can raise your hand, whichever one. I'm gonna give it like a minute to see. Oh my gosh, you had to ask those 2 right before dinner? Okay. No, that's not weird. Trust me. I was just laughing because I'm sitting here like, of course. So I don't think we've actually shown, like, I've signed these before in front of people. So let's do the sign for vomit first. I know you guys are, everyone's probably like, what? But no, we're going to do it. So the sign for vomit is you're going to have, you can do 1 hand or 2 hands. I'm going to do 2 hands and show you what it is. So you're going to have 2 5s. You're going to put your dominant thumb in front of your mouth, okay? And the non-dominant's kind of lower here. And you're going to go vomit, vomit, vomit. Now, what's important is you better make those shoulders, like you have to act like you are doing it, basically. Vomit, throw up, vomit. The next one, nausea. Okay, well, now I got to stand for this one because you can't see it from where I am. What you're gonna do is on your stomach, you're gonna put your hand in this weird, like, bent finger shape. You're gonna put it here, and you're gonna go circular motion. And that means like having an upset stomach, your stomach hurts, nausea, things like that. So yeah. Any others?
But if you're describing, if you're trying to tell somebody I'm nauseous, like you are going to be like, like making the face, right?
Oh
Like
yeah.
yeah.
And then I will say this, if you're talking about, because that did bring up a good point. If someone is talking about something and you're like, that's just gross, like that's just disgusting. That you do that similar motion you did on your stomach, but you do it here in the middle of your chest, like, oh, that was disgusting. Um, I work with 4th through 6th graders, and I have boys who think farts and all that are funny, even when half of them can't hear it. So half the time I'm like, ugh, gross. Or they like to tell me about their bathroom, and I'm like, I don't want to know. I have a class of all boys, one of them is, and man, do they love to tell me and describe what's going on in that bathroom. I was like, I don't want to know. Okay, like, oh, so very dramatic. Let yourself have fun with it. That's what I like to always say with ASL is this is the kind of language where you can make the facial expressions and look kind of silly when you're having conversations like that, obviously, because it lets you. It has that very free opening motion for it. So, any other questions? They don't even have to be signs. I was going to say, if you have any curious questions about deaf culture, obviously I'm not deaf myself, but I work with a lot of deaf I have a lot of deaf coworkers. And so if you are curious about anything and you're like worried you might offend someone, ask me. I will let you know. I will tell you straight up, oh yeah, that would offend them, or no, that wouldn't. Oh, okay. I was not expecting that one. I don't know. So fire truck. Okay. So fire truck and fireman are similar. So with that being said, the sign for fireman is going to be a B, and you pat it on the back of your forehead. And if you think about it, it's the shape of the helmet. So fireman. Some people will also use this for fire truck. And the reason like they don't really always have the biggest difference is context clues. A lot of that comes to play in ASL. You will learn as we go through. I will probably say a lot of times, this is also the same sign for this. To tell the difference, context clues. So be ready for that. But I have seen some people who will do fireman and then they'll do the sign for truck. And so truck is going to be it's 2 fingers, bend them, and you're going to make a circular motion around the corner of your mouth. Truck. So fire truck. But yeah, most of the time you can just do fireman like that. I was gonna say, does that mean you are? I caught that after I went, wait a minute, fire truck? Wait a minute. Oh, I love that. I'm sorry. I get really giddy meeting new people in new professions because it's always fun to think about like how you would communicate and like sign sentences. Obviously, you can tell I really love ASL and I have the personality of a teacher who's very bubbly. So yeah. Any other questions you guys have? Oh, ambulance. Okay. See, she's getting all done here. All right. So for ambulance, well, there are 2 of them. One is emergency vehicle, the basic kind of more broad, and then there's the actual like ambulance, like the sirens. And so typically it's I had to think for a moment. It's kind of like you have these open circular motions and you're moving them in circles because they're like the sirens going off, ambulance, because of the lights, they're moving. But you can always do like an emergency vehicle, emergency car, which is 2 E's, and you go emergency. And then cars, you're gonna have like 2 S and go car. So emergency car. Or vehicle. This is vehicle still too. So emergency that. No, I love it. Like literally, if you guys have any questions of any different kinds of signs or anything like that, bring them away. Even if like you think of something like later tonight, save them, bring them back next week. I really am happy to give you much is exposure of different signs. Anything that can really help you guys where you're picking it up or using it to apply later on in your careers. So, but yeah, okay, we have about 3 minutes left. So I'm not going to do the practice only because it would take a little bit longer, but I am going to see if you guys have anybody else have any questions, anything of that sort. Well, I take a sip of water. I'm not used to having to talk a lot. I usually just sign. So when I have to talk, I'm like, huh, hold on a minute.
Hey, Jillian, you talk all the time.
I
You
do that.
She talks all the time. Anyway, okay, I did want to follow up because we had a bunch of people that had to come in just after we finished explaining the class, which is kind of the boring part. But I did want to just follow up and say you will get a link tomorrow with the recap. It'll have the vocabulary sheet, so we'll have the phrases we talked about and some of the concepts that we covered, and I'll also break down what the other weeks will look like. So what topics we'll cover. So look over that and then be thinking about if you have any certain topic that you're interested in, let us know. It was when our student asked to add banking. Oh, I thought that was genius, and it was only like 5 phrases, but it's like you need them. It's just yeah, I'm a librarian. I just answer questions for free all day. So it didn't occur to me.
Oh no, it trust me, it does that to me too. Because like I'm a math teacher. I teach math for 4th through 6th grade. So people will ask questions. I'm like, oh, I didn't think of that because as a teacher, I have a very direct, like specific type, especially with math relations. So like, yeah, we had one student who would ask a lot of math questions. I was like, oh, let me tell you the sign for this and this and this and this. And I just started going on. I was like, oh, I need to stop. I need to stop with the math. So but yeah. All right. So it is like 6:09. So I will let it go. Or let y'all go. Sorry, I was trying to say let y'all go, but I said let it go. That will happen is where I will voice and my signs don't always make sense. Like my signs make sense, my voice and my English does not. English has deteriorated as ASL has progressed, is what I like to say. So
Jillian English bad, but she is great at ASL. She really is. She really is. Like I've known Jillian for like 15 years, so we like to tease each other. Okay, if anybody has any procedural questions or, and this has happened before, you get into class and you realize this is not going to work, email me, let me know. We are happy to put you in a different class later. And also, at the end of this class, if you had a great time and you'd like to join another class, we are happy for y'all to join at any time. You can just send an email and say, hey, it's me. Can I drop in for XYZ class or the whole thing? So yeah, anyway, just let us know if you have questions. I'll send a recap out, and other than that, have a great week.
yep. I hope you guys have an awesome rest of y'all's week, and I will see you guys all next Tuesday. Bye, guys.
Thank you.